is Samson Itodo. It's my pleasure to be here. To be here to talk about what I consider one of Nigeria's greatest challenges. And perhaps it could be the solution to the governability crisis, the moral and social injustice, and the booming level of impunity that we experience as a country and as a people. Growing up as a child, my parents taught me that as a child you are not expected to challenge your elders. Growing up as a child, my parents taught me, even when your elders go wrong, you cannot challenge them. And you know, somewhat as a Christian, even the Bible says that children obey your parents in the Lord. In the Lord, not out of the Lord. And so when they operate within or out of the confines of the Lord, discretion sets in whether to obey or not to obey. The democracy that we practice today as a people and we enjoy came as a result of one thing, that there were men and women who had the moral courage to speak truth to power. And during our pre-independence struggle, it took the lives of the Nnamdi Azikiwes that we celebrate with, the Obafemi Awolowos, and Sam Bakar Tafawa Balewa, to speak truth to power. But ironically, the same democracy that we got as a result of speaking truth to power is the same democracy that has foreclosed the spaces for us as people to speak truth to power. What do we have today? In the universities, we've had countless times of young people, student union leaders who were expelled and suspended or even excommunicated from the university. Why? Because they chose to speak truth to power. Today, students protest. In Nasarawa State, we've seen that in Ogun State. We even saw that in my days in the University of Jos, when students who were legitimately enforcing their constitutional right were killed or were shot by the same state that is saddled with the constitutional responsibility of protecting them, simply because they just chose to speak truth to power. In our NYC programs today, the scheme promotes the particular scam they call the NYC Foundation, where students are asked, core members are asked to pay 1,000 naira or 500 naira when before they are cleared to leave the NYC program at the exit stage. But we have stories today of NYC members who have refused to pay those levies. And where do we find them today? Some of them have not received their discharge certificate simply because they chose to speak truth to power. For us as a people, we suffer the moral decadence and the malgovernance because we have lacked the moral courage to speak truth to power. Those who have spoken truth to power, where are they today? Just recently, there's this question about an alleged missing 20 billion. Well, I don't know what's your position on that issue, but we know for sure what is happening in the petroleum sector. But beyond the fact that yes, there are certain explanations today for the CBN governor who was found wanted as a result of the so-called report by the Financial Reporting Council. We know the political undertones. And it's simply because somebody chose to speak truth to power. Odumegwu, the recently sacked NPC boss, the National Population Council boss, made a statement that our census figures are questionable. And quite frankly, our census figures are questionable. We have to tell ourselves the truth. They are questionable. That was just a statement he made. But what happened to him? He was booted out. Because we have forgotten the principles that underpins democracy, which is about participation. And we have that moral right because of an existing social contract between the government and the governed. And so we have a right to speak truth to power. But what have we done as a people? We have abdicated our roles and our duties for sycophancy and deceit. And so, in the corridors of power today, we have people who do not tell the government the truth, or those who are in positions of power the truth. They sing their praises, even when they take the wrong decisions. And that is our challenge as a people. Because we lack men who lack the courage to speak truth to power. Our deliverance as a people and our transition from the level of impunity that we experience today is hinged on one thing, that we need men, we need women, we need young people who must have the courage to speak truth to power. The institutional decay that we experience today is because even in that ministry, we have executives who have constituted themselves into demigods, and then the junior staff cannot even question them. And then when you go for board meetings and this particular chief executive officer is towing the wrong line, there is no courage to bring them aright. Why? Because we lack that moral courage to speak truth to power. And if we want things to change, the centenary celebration will soon start, or has started. The national conference will soon start. The reason why people have reservations about the national conference is because there will be people who will go there who will lack the courage to speak truth to power. We need men in the corridors of power. We need women in the corridors of power who will speak truth to power. Not at the national level or at the state level, even at the very local level. In the organization, do you have the courage to speak truth to power? When I say speak truth to power, does it not necessarily mean challenge or opposition? Doing the right things. We must remain resolute. We must remain determined as a people. We must remain courageous as a people if we want the things in this country to change. But the challenge for us is who will speak truth to power. The likes of Tai Solari, Claude Ake, Wole Soyinka, Gani Farami, where are they today? We need more men. Tai Solari in 1957, when General Gowon delayed the transition of power from a military regime to a civilian regime, it took courageous Tai Solari, who published a statement, the beginning of the end, and only him personally went to the street to distribute that statement. Somehow he was arrested and he went to prison for doing that. But he took courage, and we are here today under this roof, freely discussing, talking, chatting, because there were men who fought for this freedom because they had the courage to speak truth to power. And we as a people, as we strive to change the present status quo, we must be willing to challenge the status quo and speak truth to power. Thank you very much.